Hey Steelers fans, it's that time again where we dive deep into everything happening with our Pittsburgh Steelers as the season heats up and the playoff picture starts to take shape. Tonight, we've got a matchup that's going to test the team's resolve and give us plenty to talk about. The Steelers are heading into a late evening kickoff at Acura Stadium against the Dolphins, a team that has quietly gained momentum after a shaky start. We're talking about a team that opened the season 2-5, and most people had them counted out. Yet somehow, they've strung together 4 consecutive wins, including a solid early-season victory against the Bills, followed by wins over the Commanders, Saints, and Jets. Momentum, as they say, is a tricky thing in football, and the Dolphins are riding it, confident and ready to challenge a Steelers squad that has its own motivations tonight. It's cold out there. Really cold. The kind of weather that makes you question why anyone would want to play football in the first place. But if you think that will slow down this team, think again. The Steelers have faced adversity before, and tonight's conditions are just another challenge to navigate. Temperatures are expected to linger in the teens throughout the game, and the elements will undoubtedly play a role in how both offenses operate. While there's been a lot of talk about Tua Tagovailoa and his struggles in colder conditions, the real question comes down to how Pittsburgh's defense will handle Devin Achane, who has been a standout for the Dolphins during this mini streak. He's been putting up impressive numbers across these past 4 games, averaging well over 100 yards per game, and even when limited to just 7 carries in one outing, he still produced nearly 100 yards. On top of that, there's a known ribs issue that could affect his performance, making the defensive approach even more critical tonight. Meanwhile, the Steelers are dealing with their own personnel concerns. TJ Watt is sidelined, and while that's a significant loss for any defense, Pittsburgh has a roster equipped to adjust. Players like Alex Highsmith and Nick Herbig are capable of stepping up, and there's a certain level of anticipation to see just how they perform when called upon. The defensive line will need to create pressure, control the line of scrimmage, and force mistakes, especially against a quarterback who has faced 8 sacks over the past 3 games, but has had only 137 in 77 games over his career. That perspective gives a sense of how rare and valuable a well-executed pass rush can be. While the Steelers may miss Watt's edge presence, the blend of experience and hunger on this defense could turn the tide if everyone executes their assignments correctly. Offensively, Pittsburgh has some interesting matchups to exploit. Darnell Washington has been cleared from concussion protocol and will be available, adding another dimension to a tight end-heavy strategy that could dominate short yardage and screenplays. In these conditions, moving the ball through the air deep may be a challenge, so the focus will likely shift to the middle of the field and the trenches. This means pounding the ball, sustaining drives, and taking advantage of mismatches whenever possible. Players like Pat Freiermuth can be instrumental in opening lanes and creating opportunities for the running backs, while others need to step up as blockers to make sure the offensive line holds under pressure. The Steelers will have to blend power and precision to control the tempo and keep the Dolphins' defense guessing. Looking ahead, there's also context within the division that cannot be ignored. The Ravens just secured a 24-0 victory over the Bengals, improving their record to 7-7, while the Steelers sit at 7-6. The stakes are clear. Every win counts, and a victory tonight is essential to remain in contention for a playoff berth. After this game, the Steelers will face the Lions in Detroit, a team that has struggled compared to last season and recently gave up 41 points in a defeat. While road games always carry a challenge, tonight is about taking care of business at home and keeping playoff hopes alive. Momentum, confidence, and execution all converge in these critical matchups, and Pittsburgh has to make every possession count. Fans' energy will be a significant factor tonight as well. Recent home games have seen passionate reactions from the crowd, reflecting a fan base that cares deeply about the team's performance. From vocal support to pointed chants expressing frustrations, the message is clear. Steelers Nation is fully invested and expects the team to rise to the occasion. That energy can be contagious and will likely fuel the players as they navigate the cold, the competition, and the stakes of the game. The team also has additional inspiration with the Hall of Honor ceremony at halftime, celebrating legendary players like Ben Roethlisberger, Marquise Pouncey, and Joey Porter. These kinds of moments remind the current roster of the legacy they're part of and the standards they're striving to uphold. Every play tonight carries weight, not just in the standings, but in the ongoing story of Steelers football. Strategically, this is the type of game where Pittsburgh needs to embrace its identity. Forget chasing deep throws if conditions or matchups aren't favorable. Instead, lean on the physicality, the short passing game, and dominating the line of scrimmage. The Steelers must run the ball, attack the middle of the field, and leverage the talent of their tight ends and blockers to sustain drives. Defensive assignments will be critical to slowing down the Dolphins' playmakers, particularly a chain, while also containing Tua and limiting explosive plays. This game is about execution, grit, and taking what the opponent gives you while minimizing mistakes. Winning in these conditions is a statement of toughness and discipline, setting a template for how the Steelers can approach the remainder of the season and potentially the playoffs. Beyond tonight's matchup, there's the larger picture of the AFC playoff landscape. The Chiefs have already missed the playoffs as of yesterday, opening opportunities for other teams. The Broncos have surged to the top of the conference with an impressive winning streak, but the Patriots are right behind them, and Pittsburgh has already defeated New England on the road. This illustrates the unpredictable nature of the conference this season and reinforces the importance of every single game, every possession, and every strategic adjustment. For the Steelers, that means taking care of business at home, building momentum, and ensuring the team enters the postseason battle-ready, confident, and physically prepared for the challenges ahead. As the sun sets and the stadium lights blaze over a Cure Stadium, the intensity of this matchup comes into focus. The Steelers are not just playing for a win tonight. They're playing to set the tone for the final stretch of the season. Every drive, every snap, and every tackle matters because these moments define not only the standings but the culture of the team heading into the postseason. The Dolphins are coming off 4 straight victories, and their confidence is palpable, but the Steelers have a chance to make a statement. When you look at the roster, it's clear there's talent and versatility across the board, yet tonight, execution will outweigh raw ability. In conditions this cold, football becomes a test of preparation, adaptability, and mental toughness as much as skill. Defensively, the Steelers must focus on controlling the line of scrimmage and limiting big plays. Devin Achane's recent performances show he is a threat in open space, capable of exploiting even small gaps, which means Pittsburgh's linebackers and safeties need to communicate flawlessly and maintain discipline. Achane has shown the ability to make explosive gains on limited touches, so containment will be key. Meanwhile, the defensive ends and interior linemen will need to generate pressure on Tua without sacrificing gap integrity, forcing quick decisions and preventing the Dolphins from finding a rhythm. Nick Herbig and Alex Highsmith are expected to play pivotal roles here, but the unit as a whole has to function like a well-oiled machine. It's not just about individual plays. It's about cohesion, anticipation, and limiting the margin for error. On offense, the Steelers' strategy revolves around a power running game complemented by smart, high-percentage passing. Darnell Washington's return from concussion protocol adds a significant weapon, especially in the tight end sets. Utilizing Washington and Pat Freiermuth to attack the middle of the field will be crucial, particularly in a game where deep passes are less likely to succeed due to cold weather and defensive coverage. Establishing the run early is essential as it opens up the play-action game and keeps the Dolphins guessing. Jaylen Warren and Kenny Gainwell will likely see touches on the outside and in screen packages designed to exploit the edges of the defense, stretching their containment responsibilities and creating lanes for consistent gains. Every possession is an opportunity to assert dominance, grind the clock, and build momentum while limiting turnovers. The Steelers' offensive line faces its own set of challenges. With temperatures in the teens, footing, grip, and stamina are all factors that could disrupt timing and execution. Yet this line has proven resilient under pressure, and tonight will be no exception. Protecting the quarterback, maintaining lanes for the backs, and sustaining blocks on tight end plays will be the difference between a methodical, controlled game and a series of broken drives. The weather is a variable that cannot be ignored, but it also serves as an equalizer. Teams that can adapt, remain focused, and leverage physicality will thrive, and Pittsburgh has historically excelled in tough conditions. The fans know it, the players know it, and the team's culture thrives on embracing these challenges rather than shying away from them. Looking at the broader picture, the implications of this game extend far beyond just one win. The Steelers sit at 7-6, and the Ravens' recent victory has tightened the division race. Every game counts, every mistake is magnified, and every success can shift momentum dramatically. Pittsburgh's path to the playoffs requires consistency and discipline. They cannot afford to drop games against teams that might be perceived as less formidable, because division standings and tiebreakers can ultimately decide postseason opportunities. Tonight is about control. Controlling the tempo, controlling the line of scrimmage, controlling mistakes, and, ultimately, controlling the narrative of the season. The Steelers have the pieces, the coaching, and the mindset to do exactly that, provided they execute at a high level from the opening kickoff. The fans' energy will amplify these efforts. Recent home games have demonstrated just how engaged and passionate Steelers Nation is. From vocal encouragement to candid reactions when things go off course, the fan base provides a tangible boost to the team. Tonight, with the stadium full, the Hall of Honor halftime ceremony, and a critical divisional matchup at stake, the atmosphere will be electric. Players feed off this energy, and it can create those pivotal moments where a defensive stop, a clutch third-down conversion, or a decisive run changes the course of the game. The legacy of Pittsburgh football, combined with the expectations of a dedicated fan base, sets the stage for something truly memorable tonight. This is where history and the present collide, and every player on the field is aware that they are part of something bigger than themselves. From a tactical perspective, the Steelers must stick to their strengths. Attempting long, risky plays in freezing conditions may backfire, but a balanced attack emphasizing power, precision, and smart decision-making increases the probability of success. On defense, it's about discipline, awareness, and executing assignments to perfection. On offense, it's about imposing physical dominance and sustaining drives that wear down the opposition. In these conditions, every yard matters, every tackle matters, and every decision counts. This is where leadership shines. Veterans must guide the young players, communicate effectively, and ensure that mental errors are minimized. The cold is no excuse. It's merely another opponent to outwork, outthink, and outperform. As the game unfolds, Pittsburgh will also be showcasing its adaptability. With injuries and personnel changes, the team has been tested repeatedly this season, and each scenario presents an opportunity to learn, adjust, and improve. Players like Highsmith, Herbig, Washington, and Freiermuth have the chance to step into larger roles, demonstrate their capabilities, and reinforce the team's identity as resilient, versatile, and relentless. Each series is a microcosm of the larger season. Control the line, execute assignments, capitalize on opportunities, and avoid mistakes. When all these elements come together, the Steelers can dominate even in the harshest of conditions, sending a message to the rest of the conference that Pittsburgh is a team that refuses to be underestimated. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The Steelers' locker room is buzzing with an energy that hasn't been felt in months, and the rumor mill is running at full speed after what insiders are calling a game-changing development. Sources close to the team suggest that the organization may have just landed a major piece that could reshape their season entirely. The whispers started circulating shortly after their clash with the Dolphins, a game that, while intense on the field, might pale in comparison to what's reportedly unfolding behind the scenes. Although no official announcement has been made, word from team insiders indicates that the Steelers could be on the verge of adding a high-profile player, someone whose arrival would instantly alter expectations and strategy. Fans are already speculating wildly, imagining how this new presence might shift offensive schemes, defensive rotations, or even the locker room dynamic. There's talk that the acquisition could fill a critical gap that has been haunting the team for years, a missing link that finally gives Pittsburgh a legitimate edge. Social media is ablaze with excitement, conspiracy theories, and wild guesses. Some analysts hint at a veteran known for clutch performances in high-stakes situations, while others speculate it could be a younger talent whose ceiling is sky-high. The truth, as always, may be stranger or more sensational than the rumors themselves. Sources caution, however, that nothing is set in stone, and any deal of this magnitude carries the usual complexities: medicals, contract negotiations, and league approvals. Yet even the possibility of such a move has fans imagining a completely different Steelers identity moving forward. The timing is particularly intriguing. After a matchup against a formidable Dolphins squad, the team's morale seems unusually buoyant. Could this bombshell be the secret behind their newfound energy, or is it simply a spark waiting to ignite a full-blown transformation? One thing is certain. In a league where momentum is everything, even the whisper of a blockbuster addition sends shockwaves through opponents, media, and supporters alike. If these rumors prove true, Pittsburgh may be staring down a season that looks nothing like anyone expected. The city, ever passionate about its team, is holding its breath, ready for confirmation of what could be one of the most talked about moves in recent memory. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.